So, Ro, let's get you going.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
get you
Yes,
started.
sir.
The Jet Saga. Talk to us. What's it all
Uh,
about?
yeah. So the Jet Saga, it follows a character named Kevin. He's based in Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so all my peeps here listening from Chicago. Let's go, let's go. Basically, it follows Kevin as he's trying to become a hero. It's kind of his take on new age hero action. With all the politics that are going on in the world right now and everything that's happening in the Middle East and in Israel, kind of the story is kind of taking on this outlook of what do we do with cylindrical chaos that's handed down from the people before us, and how do we do better in that. So that's kind of the overview. I started this when I was in college. Nowadays, I'm working with a team on it. So yeah, the goal right now is to get it out to the people. So I'm promoting, going to more Comic Cons. Yeah.
So, before we get further into it, I do want to show the YouTube video you have for the Jet Saga. I want everybody to take a look at this, and we'll show you your link where you can get seen and everything. So here it is right here. Uh, Check it out. There it is, the Jet Saga. So let's talk to you about your character. Let's break the character down and get into it. Tell everybody what this character's the build up, the birth, all of
Yeah,
that good
yeah.
stuff.
So I'll tell you a little bit, try to jump around so that I don't spoil too much. But Kevin lives in Chicago, as I said before. Chicago, just like everywhere else in the world, these people are popping up with powers. They're called the third generation. So
Mhm.
about 70 years ago, there were 10 people that just popped up that had these abilities. And scientists and everyone were going crazy and doing experiments on them and trying to figure out, where is this coming from. Uh, but in that 10 years, like I said, only about 10 people popped up, and they were called the Golden Generation. And about 20 years from that date, there were about maybe 400 people that were popping up with some type of ability. And yeah, so people were counting them down. They were called the second generation or the silver generation. But nowadays, in the last like 5 years, there have been per like every 5,000 people, at least one person popping up with some type of ability, and it might be something as small as like being able to smell someone super far away. So every country is trying to figure out what they're going to do about this. Some countries are, super peaceful about it, but no place is more divided than America. I mean, you have the northern states who are pro like hero. They're like, if you have a power, like use it to make the world a better place. They'll even give you a license. But if you live in the Midwest or the South, they're not about it. They're like, if you got these powers, don't use them. You will get arrested, especially if you're in Chicago. So Kevin, it's interesting. This kind of comes up for him when he's heading to college for his sophomore year. He's had asthma his whole life, and so it's made him really meek. He goes around living life, trying to stay in the shadows because he doesn't want to draw attention, because his self-esteem is like super low. But when he's in his sophomore year of college, the mayor of Chicago, who's running again, passes this new act. And basically, anyone that comes from low income that's going to college gets free insurance. And so he gets for the first time the ability to go and get checked out. And when he does, an operation happens where this guy who's like the number one surgeon, he's like a super genius. He's playing around with this experiment that he got in the mail. And basically, it's called a catalyst that he's been given to try out. And it kind of shocks Kevin's antibodies, and he gets powers. It goes way more deeper than that, but Kevin basically goes from being zero to hero. I mean, that's the basic hero story arc. But his thing is more about finding out who he is in the midst of all of that, and then this idea of change. What does it mean on a micro level, and what it means in a macro level? Around him, Chicago's kind of going up in flames. You have poverty that's happening, and then you have cops. You have older Black people. You have different areas trying to say they know what's best for the city, for the kids. But for the first time, Kevin has the ability to make a difference, and so he's trying to grab hold of that. Some things about Kevin. So his ability is kind of like water manipulation. He's no different than a water bender. But the difference is, if there is a difference, that whenever his adrenaline is pumping, water is attracted to him. So he goes from not being able to do anything, but if someone shoots a gun at him, a fire hydrant will explode and it'll literally try and protect him. So Kevin's big thing is learning how to take something that's 100 and bring it down. Because whenever water is attracted to him, it really kind of dehydrates him and it'll kill him really quick. And so he has to learn how to do smaller things, like make bubbles. So if someone shoots a gun at him, he should be able to catch the bullets with bubbles, those type of things. So that's a little bit about Kevin. Like I said, I gave you a little bit of what's in the first issue, but it goes way deeper than that. You got superheroes in here that are for the government. There's a character named Cosmic Punch. He's super cool. He punches the space between atoms. So if someone's shooting bullets at him, he literally just punches way out. But yeah, you got any more questions?
Yeah. Tafari?